the Business Council get involved
Yes,
in similar
indeed,
incidents?
especially the chairpersons of the business councils. They help in creating job opportunities indirectly. If trust is there is more appetite to subscribe.
Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of our podcast, Foresight. This monthly podcast addresses various strategic economic issues relevant to Oman. In our first episode, we host Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, our strategic partner in making these discussions possible. Please join the discussion. And let's welcome His Excellency Faisal bin Abdullah Al-Rawass, Chairman of Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
Let's start our journey by celebrating the Chamber's 50th anniversary and these decades of operations. What are the main changes in OCCI's direction? What new strategies have you introduced since the celebration?
We initiated the adoption of strategic forecasts ahead of the celebration in November last year, and as part of the preparations, the Chamber established key strategic directions. The most important ones are enhancing business conditions and environment, as well as the economic development of the governorates, and the reliance on economic diversification policies within the Sultanate of Oman. Of course, the Chamber has its own internal strategic forecasts, but we focus a lot on enhancing the business environment through its many programs. Some of the plans have seen the light, while others are still in preparation, God willing, and we are working on them.
You talked about economic development within the governorates as one of the key areas. In recent years, we've observed the establishment of some local community companies with support from branches of the Chamber in these governorates. How can these companies play a bigger role in attracting investments to the country as a whole and to their regions in specific and connecting with foreign investors?
The Oman Chamber of Commerce has truly been a pioneer in adopting and establishing these local community companies across the governorates of the Sultanate. Some governorates saw individual efforts to create these companies, but now we encourage all branches to form at least one. We encourage all branches of the Chamber in Oman's governorates to establish at least one local community company for each governorate. We have seen some companies established and supported by Oman Chamber of Commerce, and I can mention, for example, the company in Munsandam, also another one in Al Buraimi, and a third in Ad Dahira Governorate as a start. These companies have now been established and are operating within the governorates in projects, and we are currently preparing for more similar companies. More companies have been approved by OCCI's board in other governorates, like a local community company in Ad Dakhiliya, another one in Ash Sharqiya South, and a third in Dofa Governorate. These local community companies are private companies for the governorates and their people, but their activities vary from one governorate to another. As they rely on the unique selling propositions of each governorate,
Good.
we also encourage and support the other governorates to prepare and invite the local community as well to be part of these LCCs and part of their governorate's economy. All these companies operate in coordination and cooperation with the local authorities, namely working with the governors. And this is all done with approval from the Ministry of Interior, the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion, and all other relevant entities. The goal is to involve the local community in business and ensure alignment with the community's values and support for any type of activities that serve the governorate and create jobs for citizens as one of the key goals.
Can these companies be a local partner for a foreign investor?
Yes, in principle, that's the goal. If they are able to operate independently and manage their own affairs, that would be even more beneficial, as it fosters self-reliance and sustainability. In the long run, they can keep all the profits, but if they choose to seek help from other governorates or partner with international companies, we fully support it. We want them to improve their skills, as the sky is the limit. Developing their abilities will open endless opportunities for growth and success. The primary goal is profit and benefit, while also engaging the widest possible segment of the local community to ensure inclusive growth.
Is there interest from local communities in supporting these local community companies in the governorates? Are they interested?
Yes, there is support, and substantial support. I won't cite specific examples, but it's clear that the local community is benefiting greatly from these initiatives, especially in the context of purchasing shares in these companies. There is significant interest among potential investors, provided that a foundation of trust is established. Especially when there is an umbrella for this company, such as the Governor's Office and the Chambers of Commerce and Industry in Oman, we see that there is more ease by the people to be partners and to contribute more in these companies, though some past practices may have involved individuals, and certain personal endeavors have not met with success, leading to a negative reaction, as we have observed in some cases. But this official umbrella provides comfort and confidence to the citizen, fostering a sense of security. So we have seen better numbers in investments and overall participation, and we can see the results in the recently established companies. The numbers are huge.
Superb.
Yes.
Moving on to another general overview regarding the country's diplomacy. In the last few years, the expression and tone of economic diplomacy have frequently recurred in discussions, highlighting its growing importance and prominence in fostering international relations and economic collaboration. The Sultanate began to focus heavily on this file over the past 4 or 5 years. In Oman Chamber of Commerce, how do you support this direction? What is your role in economic diplomacy? And what efforts are you making today to support the Sultanate's economic diplomacy?
We collaborate with the public sector, and the Chamber, which is recognized by all, serves as the official representative of the private sector. Its role is to support, nurture, and protect the interests of the private sector today in partnership with the public sector, and, as you mentioned, economic diplomacy, and specifically refer to the Foreign Ministry. Today, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is more transparent and collaborative with the private sector, actively engaging in partnerships to foster mutual growth and development. We see that the ambassadors are in ongoing communication, regularly exchanging ideas and updates. The ambassadors of the Sultanate in various countries, whether brotherly or friendly, are actively promoting investment opportunities in Oman to potential investors. They also communicate regularly with the Chamber regarding exhibitions and anything that serves the private sector, especially His Excellency, the Minister, and his initiatives. The Minister of Foreign Affairs is always willing to meet with Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry periodically to discuss important matters. We have met several times, and he always emphasizes that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs seeks and encourages greater collaboration with the private sector. The private sector is encouraged to inform the Ministry of Foreign Affairs about the challenges, whether in other countries or within Oman, through which it is possible to find solutions. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is committed to support in economic files, and we are, thank God, in Oman moving forward in this area. Plus, the good reputation that Oman's Ministry of Foreign Affairs enjoys as a supporter of many aspects makes our task much easier. When we invite investors to Oman, it is evident that there is growing interest from both local and international investors. We still have a long way to go, and it is a long road ahead filled with challenges and opportunities, but many legislations and laws have facilitated matters for investors, and we are studying the market and also exploring new opportunities. We are monitoring other markets closely to see how we can make the investment environment in Oman more competitive and attractive for investors. We convey the concerns of the private sector and foreign investors to the authorities, and we see a real response from them addressing these issues. Positive response, regardless of the actual implementation challenges. We know that the road is still long, but the response is consistently positive. The perspective of partnership makes us more optimistic about economic diplomacy and its potential to foster growth and development in various sectors. It meets its goal in time and achieves the desired outcomes.
Do you receive feedback from the representatives of the Sultanate as diplomats abroad regarding the impacts of economic or political changes on our national interests? Do you have a role in addressing such aspects, which might be crucial for fostering better diplomatic relations and collaboration? What's your role when they raise points of doubt or concerns from investors in these countries?
Of course, the ambassadors are in constant communication directly and indirectly, and I personally say that there are many ambassadors who maintain personal communication, even by phone, about certain issues that some might consider trivial, yet we see them as significant. It matters. At this moment, we find ourselves in a time where the dynamics of economics of our world are rapidly changing. The traditional view that all sectors are linked has evolved in our time. Thus, the old stereotype that all sectors are interconnected, whether in growth or decline, is somewhat outdated. We sometimes see certain indicators hitting historic lows in the news, but we don't see the same reactions from investors and analysts as before, because there is a gap between sectors. Yes, they are interconnected, but there is a separation where one sector may experience a downturn or recession, while other sectors may still witness growth and expansion in various areas of the economy. Their Excellencies are sharing these observations, detailing the significant changes in these countries and their impacts on regional stability and economic development. We also have our tools and our industry reports in OCCI. Among these important tools are the sectoral committees under the Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who work diligently to address key industry concerns and promote the interests of the business community. We have 18 sectoral committees. There are also the bilateral business councils. And we proudly announced the foundation of a Center for Economic Studies and Research during the Chamber's 50th anniversary celebration, a significant initiative aimed at enhancing our capabilities, fostering informed decision-making, and driving strategic growth in the business sector. All these factors, when available, provide you with the closest picture of the truth and what is happening in the economic scene today and its future implications at both regional and global levels.
I will get back to the business councils and their roles, but I would like to know if you have specific examples of some observations received from the Sultanate's representatives recently, observations that matter to the Chamber and its activities and efforts. Please share some examples observed by the representatives, especially from the past 2 years.
I would like to note that we have studies on the trade exchange size and levels between the Sultanate of Oman and other countries worldwide. And based on some data, some esteemed representatives are noting that the country they reside in has a very weak trade relationship between the Sultanate of Oman and that country, impacting economic growth and opportunities. So Oman's representatives closely observe the main features of the country they are stationed in, both in terms of imports and exports, as well as the key sectors that drive the economy. They forward it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which subsequently sends it to the concerned entities and the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Oman. We either form a trade delegation to visit that country consisting of business people and industry experts in order for them to explore the opportunities that they can pursue, whether by exporting to that country or importing from it. And we also hold specialized forums, like a meeting between Oman and that country. This means that there will be a focus on that country, allowing the business community in the Sultanate of Oman to learn about the advantages of that country, whether in import or export. This is one of the businesses that we see economic diplomacy now considering. It is a more pragmatic view of our relations with countries, and we also see if there are opportunities in those countries. After all, it's what we can call a win-win relationship.
Now, let's discuss business councils. They can be described as OCCI's arms, reaching out to facilitate business relations with various countries. How do you assess the bilateral business council performance today, and what aspects can be worked on?
When we assess business councils, we always maintain very high standards and expectations in all aspects. The evaluation process never quite meets our goals and objectives. We want business councils to have significantly bigger roles and responsibilities. Business councils are essential and play a crucial role if we carefully and thoroughly observe that the language used by governments is noticeably different from that used by chambers of commerce, and likewise in many other related contexts and situations. Language varies significantly more in business councils compared to the language used in chambers of commerce. And if we see that business councils are a group of businessmen These business councils are comprised of business owners from two countries, Omani members and their counterparts of any other Arab or foreign country. The business council with any given country mainly focuses its attention on that specific country or in their key economic sectors and business, because at the government level, the goals, activities, and interests are significant, often encompassing a wide range of national priorities. Also, at the chambers level, there are many initiatives and sectors to cover. The relationships connect us with many countries, so attention must be balanced among all these countries. That's why business councils are the most important, to give a more specialized focus on any given country. And their presence in the dialogue is absolutely vital and essential, as they effectively convey important ideas, thoughts, and even the numerous challenges faced by investors in the current market landscape. These valuable inputs are carefully conveyed to us, and we thoroughly study them before we transfer them to the relevant parties and stakeholders involved in the decision-making process. Business councils have many roles, even at a personal level between businessmen. They have a significant role in resolving many disputes and disagreements that may arise within before they escalate and reach the point of legal steps. They play a very important role in preventing such escalations.
Did this happen? Did a business council intervene in
Yes,
solving certain problems?
especially business council chairpersons who have good ties with businessmen in a country and able to help. We prefer not to mention the names and the incident. But in an occasion, we contacted the chairperson, and he in turn contacted his counterpart in the council, and the issue was resolved. These issues are usually financial issues. They are related to import and export dealings, or even the lack of a clear agreement between the two parties from those countries, and the councils resolve them amicably as an example of how personal relations can help. This is one of the tasks of these business councils, but also we strongly believe that these councils have a bigger role, that they play an important role in highlighting investment opportunities in the Sultanate of Oman, and also to explore or foresee investment opportunities in those countries based on their relations and expertise. Just as we want investors from outside to come within the Sultanate of Oman, we also want the Omani investors to expand their reach and have greater opportunities for growth to be present beyond Oman, so that the Omani company grow from a local firm to an international name.
Let's discuss this point. What efforts are being exerted in this particular area to significantly increase the presence of Omani companies and brands on the global commercial map and in international markets?
As I mentioned earlier, the most important tools are the meetings and specialized events in those countries. We hold numerous meetings with business owners. We hear them out and take the time to learn about the challenges they encounter, along with the various opportunities and countries they perceive as potential markets and promising opportunity for them to enter. And we facilitate this through counterpart chambers and business councils in that country. His is equally relevant for large firms as well as small to medium-sized businesses alike, emphasizing the importance of understanding their unique challenges and opportunities. Last year, we successfully launched the Franchise Initiative. This program's primary goal is to support the Omani company or institution that holds a franchise to expand its reach beyond the Sultanate of Oman, or even expand its presence beyond its home city to other locations across the regions of the Sultanate, and also to broaden their reach within the region and the Gulf countries, and ultimately on a global scale, enhancing their international presence and influence. Last week, there was an extensive program during which over 400 small institutions were carefully interviewed. Out of the 400 enterprises, 6 companies were selected, and these companies were qualified. I am happy to report today that one of these firms has successfully signed a franchise agreement in an Arab country, and also in one of the governorates located here in our own nation, marking a significant milestone in their expansion efforts.
Wonderful.
We are collaborating with the Small and Medium Enterprises Authority and the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion to encourage small and medium enterprises to focus not on competing with one another, but rather on complementing each other, fostering collaboration and mutual growth within the business community. When a franchise agreement is made in a certain firm or project, it's an opportunity not to start a similar one. You can get the franchise for that project in your area. And also, if it works, we help you reach international markets by exporting it abroad.
This focus on supporting small and medium companies is undoubtedly positive. But do you think there is a possibility of neglect or oversight when it comes to the larger companies, which also play a crucial role in driving the economy? Do large companies sometimes feel unnoticed or overlooked, especially given the growing attention towards small and medium enterprises?
Not at all. Large companies definitely have a special status. There is even significant interest from His Majesty, the Sultan himself, as a well-designed and comprehensive program was introduced with the intention of encouraging large companies to make the transition into closed joint stock companies. The ultimate goal is for these companies to evolve into public joint stock companies, opening up a wider array of opportunities. We also carefully review all existing laws and regulations in close collaboration with the relevant authorities, placing a particular focus on ensuring that large firms and institutions are adequately supported and that their operations align with the latest legal and regulatory frameworks. Large companies are very important in the Sultanate of Oman because they represent the largest employers of both foreign and Omani workers within the Sultanate of Oman, playing a crucial role in the country's economic landscape and workforce development. This year, we see that the private sector surpasses the public sector in the number of Omanis employed, and we aspire for these numbers to increase. There are many laws enforcing Omanization in specific jobs. We agree with some of these perspectives and proposals, but for others we feel that they are not yet suitable or appropriate for implementation at this time, as we focus on diversifying the local economy and expand its ability to absorb more job seekers. Today, the idea is not merely that you have these jobs available and that these are the designated positions with the sole intention of replacing foreigners with Omanis in those roles. We fully support the policy of Omanization, but we are also strongly in favor of implementing a policy of distribution and expansion of this economic area so that it can effectively promote growth and provide opportunities for a wider range of citizens and to have an economy to fit everyone. Of course, this statement might stir some debate, but the presence of foreigners in the Sultanate of Oman creates jobs indirectly, whether through the provision of housing, improvement of living standards, or the demand for necessary services that support the overall economy. We are not merely talking about unskilled jobs, rather, we are discussing skilled professions and highly qualified individuals who possess the capability and resources to rent a suitable place and adequately support their families. This family, in turn, has essential needs that must be met, including a sustainable livelihood, access to vital services, a variety of entertainment options, and reliable transportation to thrive and enjoy a good quality of life in their daily lives. All these aspects create indirect jobs for Omanis. Of course, employing Omanis is the most important and largest issue. But conversely, and I always express this honestly, if we were to take out all the foreign workers currently present in the country and replace them entirely with Omanis, there would likely be a noticeable stagnation in various sectors of the economy, as the transition may not be seamless and could disrupt existing operations. We want foreigners to be present and also integrate all the local job seekers into suitable positions. And it is not to have a job for the sake of having a job, but we want quality jobs for them. We want there to be an economic growth. When Omanis are employed, economic activity tends to rise significantly as they spend their earnings within the country, thereby enhancing local expenditure. This increase in spending will further stimulate economic activity and contribute positively to the overall growth of the economy.
Your Excellency Faisal bin Abdullah Al-Rawass, thank you for this insightful discussion, and heartfelt thanks to our valued followers and viewers on all social media platforms. We also extend our gratitude to Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry for their support of Foresight. Remember to follow us for all new updates, and don't forget that tomorrow's opportunities are shaped today. I'm Fatma Larimi with you and the Studio Makan team. Goodbye.